Yes, people. Welcome back to Barber Banter. You know me, it's your Uncle Pat here. Don't forget, if you're new to this channel, ring that bell, subscribe, and sharing is caring. And don't forget to like. Today's discussion is about, is women demanding equal rights a double standard? What do you think? Do you think men and women should get the same pay doing the same jobs? Or do you think women should get less pay because they're women and men should get more pay? Do you think it's right to give away 50% of your hard-earned cash just because you get a divorce? Do you think that men and women, boxers, should get into the same ring and have it out? Are you tired of women asking you to pay the bill? Women, are you tired of men saying, let's go halves? What would you think of a man if he told you, let's go halves, let's go Dutch? Is chivalry dead? Is it times that men used to open the doors for women, carry women's bags? Is equal rights between men and women a double standard? So, I know what I think, but I want to know what you think. Let's take this to the barber shop.
Me personally, I think it's a bit of a double standard, Even though you still like men still got to pay for the bill. Don't think I don't pay for the bills. I still pay for the bill.
Sure, yeah.
But I think it's a bit of a double standard. That like women want equality for everything, but they want us to pay for the bill and all these kind of things, So
I think the women want men. The women always try this thing where they say, don't worry, go half and half, and the man goes, don't worry, I'll pay. Okay, you sure?
But sometimes.
But if the man says, okay, we got half and half, so people are like, I ain't gonna date him again. Disgusting, man. I don't understand that.
No, but sometimes men want you to pretend, at least try and pretend that you're going to
reach out for the purse.
Reach for the purse, like, do some kind of role play.
That's still not equal though, is it?
I don't know.
That's still not equal though, isn't it?
But the thing is, I think that they want to have the gesture there to say that,
But why not? Why shouldn't a man want that gesture there for a woman to reach for her purse?
But the man does want the gesture there. He wants it, so that's why the girl pretends. Because she wants to show that, at least I thought about it. Not I just sat there with my two long arms, just sitting there like,
I won't always sit there with their two long arms.
But let me say something though.
Sometimes girls are sort of like, oh, should I not? Should I offer? Am I going to emasculate him if I
think that women should play the part of all roles if they want equal rights. You can't have equal rights in one thing and not equal rights in another thing. You should be equal rights all around, going to get a drink, going out for dinner. Men shouldn't be fitting with the bill all the time. Me personally, I'm old school, so obviously I would pay the bill all the time. But for this 2019 women, I think they should pay part of the bill or pay all of it. What's equal? What is your take on equal rights? My take on equal rights here is that a woman don't wait for a man to come home to change the light bulb. That's my thing on equal rights. That means that whatever a man can do, a woman could do.
Yeah, so she takes charge when she needs to.
She should be able to put up the cupboards, put up a flat screen TV, and not think, my man should do it. If someone goes bump at night when you're sleeping in your bed, the woman should be the one that goes downstairs with the shank, right?
Do you believe in that? Do you actually believe in that?
I don't believe in that.
He doesn't believe in that.
No, what you're saying is that you're saying that's what equal could choose.
That's what equal.
If it's black and white, in terms of like,
do you believe that a woman and men should get paid equally?
Yeah.
If they're doing the same job, but can I say something about running off the back of what you said? Yes, that is being equal, but I don't think as in men and women we can be equal. I think that we can have equity, but I don't think that we can be equal. There's some things that men can do that a woman can't do biologically.
And vice versa.
All of this space that I have here for my ovaries, you don't have. So there's biological difference in us, so I don't think that we can pretend that we're going to be 100% the same.
Yeah, but so why do women?
If a man wanted to, he could snap my neck.
Yeah, but why?
We're on a date. Why am I going to pretend that I'm going to be the same as a man?
Women, if they want equal rights, they should be able to fit a light bulb in. They should be able to fix up a bed, fix up a wardrobe. They shouldn't have to call their man to do that. They got 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, mouth, 2 ears, 1 head, innit? 10 fingers, or 8 fingers, 2 thumbs, just like us. So if you can start screaming equal rights, then you should be able to do these things and not wait for your man to come home to put up a flat screen TV. If you don't know how to do it, learn about it, go YouTube. That's what I do. Do you mean? Don't just say equal rights, but then equal rights, what benefits you, but it don't benefit me. It doesn't make no sense.
Uncle Pat, he was just throwing some spanners in the work, trying to confuse and just stir the soup. Number one. I do get his point. Some women do want things to be equal, but again, that's not my argument because I don't think men and women were made to be equal. I think we were made to complement each other. So there's some things that a man can do better than a woman, and there's something that a woman can do better than a man. I think that we should stop trying to compete because we can't. We're not supposed to compete, we're supposed to complement each other.
Yeah,
That's not equal rights though.
It's not equal rights, but-
It's like you just said this now, yeah? You got ovaries here, yeah?
Yeah.
But there's bare woman talking a bag of nonsense saying that if a man's got 50 body count, yeah, she should have 50 body count.
Why are we talking?
No, but that's
But
still
it's the same
same thing.
Same thing.
Do you know what I mean? But now you're sitting there saying, I've got all these ovaries here. But you're saying if a man's got a 50 body count, then you should have 50 body count. Where do you draw? When do you
That's
start?
different. That's
When do you
double
start?
standards,
When do
though.
you start equal rights? When do you start equal rights? Where's equal rights end? Yeah, brown skin. I know you love my brown skin. I know where yours begin and where's mine end. Where's it begin and where does it end?
I just caught what
Look,
you
yeah.
did there.
You ever think that's old, it's outdated? Music gets outdated, clothes get outdated, certain foods get outdated. Look at a guy, come on ladies, £1 fish, he's outdated. Look at guys, you can't see me, why you come fast, he's outdated. Everything gets outdated. You know what I mean? So, you know, women should pay for a meal. Women should pay for a drink. Women should go to the bar and buy the drinks. If you want to be equal, that's what you do. That's what equal rights means, isn't it? We're meant to pay when we take you dinner, and if we don't pay, you look down at us like.
Let me ask you
Let me
something. Let me ask you. What's your point?
My point.
No,
my point
what is the point that you're trying to make?
My point.
No, let me get this here. Let me get this here. In 2019, in 2019, women should pay for the meal. It's 2019. You want equal rights? You should pay for the meal. You should say,
Can I say
babes,
something?
I've got this.
They
Yeah.
can if they want to.
But they
It's
don't,
food
though.
they've
Well,
been
you
doing
never
it for
do.
years. But can
They
I say
don't.
something? Just because
They don't bite into
women
the
want
bar.
to be equal or treated as equal doesn't mean that chivalry is dead.
No, but you're picking and choosing though. You go to the bar. When the bar's rammed,
You
yeah,
can still
and you
be-
want to drink,
still
you
be
go
a
to the bar and get a
gentleman.
drink.
You can still be a gentleman.
When the
That's
bar's
got
rammed,
nothing to do
when the
with
bar is
being
rammed,
equal.
yeah, when the bar is rammed, you have to wait half an hour, 40 minutes for that little J&D, yeah? Right, you go there and let me sit down and wait for you to come
She
back
can.
here. But they don't.
Can.
But,
There's nothing stopping you
coulda,
as a
shoulda,
man
woulda.
for saying, actually, babes, you earn the same amount of money as I do, but I can still open the door for
Yeah,
you.
but you know what? She would
That's
leave him the next
sexy.
day. She would leave him.
There's nothing wrong with opening the doors. Opening the doors, being a gentleman, you can still be a gentleman and do everything.
Thank you.
Yeah?
You can still be a gentleman and do everything. Just because a woman wants to have equity doesn't mean her man can't be chivalrous. I don't think romance is dead. I think a man still can open a door for a woman and pull a chair for a woman, and a woman still be able to have equal pay. If she's doing the exact same job with the exact same qualifications and exact same amount of experience as the man, she should be able to have the right and equal pay.
For example, yeah, like in 2019, yeah, when people divorce, yeah, I don't think women should get half, especially if the man's made majority of the money. I don't think she should.
No, but she
can't say that.
sacrificed
You
all
can't say
of
that. She
her,
has sacrificed.
all of her
She
earning
sacrificed.
time
She
in that
sacrificed.
period.
No, but like,
Look after the man.
imagine a man makes $1 million, yeah? It's alright if a woman gets 200,000. Yeah? Getting a half, you can still live with that.
What about a woman makes $1 million?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
No, I think
But
that.
why
I
if he
think-
didn't do
I think-
shit?
I don't believe that if a man makes most of the money, he's like the breadwinner, and a man's accumulated £100 million. He was already a millionaire before you met him, and then when you divorce him, you should take half. I don't believe that's fair, man. I think they should take probably 200,000. Yeah, you can live on that, but half of the money. No, that's not fair, man. Unless you both worked in that business together, yeah, and you both, then you should get half in it. But nah,
What if she has your children?
I still don't believe you should take half. You can believe on 200,000. If I made $1 million, yeah, why should you take half? You should. I'll give you 200,000. You can live on that. That you're just being greedy.
Of course she deserves half. Because she's been pulling her weight where she's supposed to be pulling her weight. He expected her to fulfill all those duties, and she's been doing that. So if they're now breaking up, and let's say in this scenario he's now doing a madness outside and he has a new woman, I'm sorry, your current woman in your life still deserves half because she's still doing all the duties that she's like basically agreed on when you guys got married. You decided to do a madness out there. That's none of my business. So I beg, run me my money.
I think
Look at the Wendy Williams situation and wasn't it Kevin Hunter? Should he receive any money? He cheated. He has a whole new baby with another woman. Does he still deserve half? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I feel like that situation, when it comes to this equal rights,
Yeah, but there's a lot of
what we're
women
talking
that
about,
cheat on their husband, they get the house, and they get the car, they get the children,
But let me say
and they get kicked out of their own house.
I feel like it's a case-by-case situation, and it needs to be within reason. Because you were just basically nitpicking and saying, "Oh, why are you complaining about that?" If that's the case, women and men can be in the same ring and box. I feel like we should look this equal rights stuff. It's within reason. So when it comes to paycheck, it's something that really affects us. You know what I mean?
And it's also something that it's too.
Because you're a woman, you would say that.
I feel like Pat is just trying to pick on things just to get on my damn nerves. Because, look, like when we talk about equal rights, it's a within reason. So I'm not gonna say, okay, equal rights, I want to box in the same ring as a man and I want him to knock me the fuck out. I'm not gonna do that because I know he's physically stronger than me. It needs to be within reason. In the household, yes, I can probably learn how to change a bulb. I can lift things, whatever, but we know that you're more physically stronger as a man. But I feel like he's just fishing and trying to make me waffle, yeah? Yes, I said it, you're trying to make me waffle.
Because if someone has the same degree, if someone has the same certificate of education, if someone has the same years of experience, if someone's on that same experience level, then yeah, then you can justify having an equal paycheck. But if you have more muscle in your body and you can run faster than me, and I've got ovaries where you have pure muscle, then obviously there's going to be a bit of a disparity. And then maybe you should get paid more than me because you do run faster than me.
It's a race is a race.
Then who decides that then?
That's what it's feeding on to Sin's point. It's like it's judged on a case-by-case basis.
Right. So who makes the decision? Is it a guy? Would it be a woman? Is it
maybe a broad panel, whoever. But I feel like in the terms of like the workplace, where it is fairly, to me anyway, I can see it as being a bit more transparent than having sort of like a man and a woman going downstairs, and if there's the boogie monster downstairs, the woman should be the one with the shank, and
like
the man should be chilling in the bed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I feel like the work thing, it's a little bit more clear cut to be able to see that we should have sort of like a reconciliation there.
Sure. And for me, I'm only asking the question from a point of view of just clarity, because it just sounds very messy. Even for me, it's very difficult to get involved in this argument because it's almost like, well, like for example, you got like, let's just say you got the Destiny's Child and Beyonce fans who are like, yeah, girls, men are this. But then they're a different group of people from somebody who maybe is doing the whole feminism, Me Too movement. Then they're a different body of people so everybody's got a different argument, but it's all been chucked together in this one topic, which actually, when we break it down, they're actually very different arguments. It's very difficult, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's very difficult.
Hold on. I've got to say something. Swag check. Swag check.
Wow.
Swag check. Get the chain, babe.
Am I getting left
It's all
out
like
of this swag check?
swag check.
No, I'm getting left out. Fine, you leave me out. I don't
So
care.
today,
You know what happens when you don't have nothing to say, when you know that your points were invalid, so you have to do swag check, innit?
my points are very valid.
No, but you
All I'm
gotta
trying to
know.
say is that me personally, yeah.
I'm gonna come prepared next time.
Me
okay?
personally,
I'm gonna come
me
prepared.
personally, yeah.
Get my shit
Me
together.
personally, I'll say this, yeah, is that I'm there to provide and protect for my woman, yeah. I do know that I don't like my wife carrying bags. I don't like my wife carrying bags or opening doors. I hate it when my wife opens doors. If she's with me, I open doors. Yeah, I'm just saying. But I'm just trying to make a point. Yeah, I'm just trying to make a point. If you're gonna start talking, if you're gonna start screaming out equal rights, yeah. If you're gonna start saying 50 body count, yeah. We get the same pay, work and all the rest of it, yeah. Then be equal rights all the way. Don't be equal rights half and half. That's all I'm saying. Me personally, I don't want my wife to open the car door. I don't want touching doors. I don't want carrying bags. You know, I don't want to go and pay for the bill. But that's because I'm old school, and I'll say it again. But this day and time no one does it no more. And if men do that, that's because they want to get in there. To me, it's called courting. And after they get in there and get the ting and lock you down as a woman, they stop doing it. Women have to know this. Oh yeah, he opens doors for me. He buys me drink, he buys me food, he don't want me to pay for nothing. And then five months down the line, he don't do nothing. He's changed. It's part of the game. That's what happens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, sure. And I think a lot of people that scream those narratives don't even think beyond the issue that they've had. So, for example,
That's it.
if you've had a mashup example, if you had a bad experience on a date, you're speaking a whole arena of things, but really it's only coming from a tiny perspective. So it hasn't really been thought through. So it's easy to get into these kind of quite emotionally charged arguments about things, but actually the very people that are running their mouth haven't even thought about what they said. Really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, what do
So-
you mean, like, for example, we're talking about the date thing?
No, sorry.
Yeah, so
Ask it.
well, for the date, so let's just say you've had a series of bad dates and maybe you felt quite disrespected.
woman, doesn't matter.
whatever. But then from that experience, you then say, I think this should be the case. In
It's like saying men are trash.
yeah, you
because they're on
generalise
date,
a whole
basically.
wanting, but actually it's coming from
Yeah.
an issue in a particular area. So maybe
Yeah.
it's a discussion about that
Yeah.
and the discussion.
Okay,
about
so
that,
what you
yeah.
mean, like, for example, if a woman has like a blanket statement, whenever I go out on dates, the man is always paying. Whereas you could find yourself in a situation that you actually don't mind going halves, or you don't mind paying, like.
It might be when you break it down a bit more. Yeah, it might be. There's an underlying issue. It could be for somebody or for a couple of people. They just feel quite. What's the word I'm looking for? They feel insignificant. They feel a little bit inferior in a situation, a relationship. So that drives their issues. But then they feel good preaching a narrative because it gives them a sense of empowerment. But actually, when you break this down, it's not practical, but it sounds good. It makes you feel good. Let's run with that. Then you've got this whole media thing running with that. And I know it gets lost. And then now we're arguing about all different kind of madness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you're challenging what I'm saying, because when I say, you know what, women should be paid equally as men.
I didn't
You're
say that.
saying
I didn't say
I say that, and then you start bringing up other things.
I'm just
that
talking about what I said.
That's another example of the double standards or equality, but it's not exactly the same thing that I'm saying. Do you understand?
I'm not saying that you don't believe it equal. I'm not saying that you don't pay for the drinks. I'm not saying you don't pay for the
I
food.
get that.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm saying majority of women, yeah, they want their man to pay for the food, yeah. The majority of women, if their man don't pay for the food on a date, yeah, she might not even date him again. Majority of women, she might not even date him again, or she might walk away thinking, right, what sort of man is that he made me pay? Right.
No, majoritively in this day and age, the man is getting paid more money than the woman.
Regardless, you go out for a date.
So then
why
she's
the man
kind of
pay all the
feeling
time?
like semi-justified.
Okay, what
It's
is
like,
the-
well,
what is
he's
the-
making more.
It's about chivalry. Chivalry
Yeah.
has died. It has died.
Well, that's what
I
I'm trying
think
to
it's
say.
coming
It doesn't
closer
have to.
because it can't.
So
Come closer to the
I'm
mic.
saying, with chivalry, it's like, you know, men will let women walk on the side of the road where the traffic is girl, not holding open doors and all that kind of stuff. But it's not to say that I want a man to do everything for me, but in terms of being a semi-conventional woman, yeah, I'm modern, but I still have a lot of conventional tendencies about me. You know, a man's supposed to be a breadwinner, whereas a woman's supposed to make a home. Ultimately, even if a woman goes out to work, that is still her home. She still decorates it. She still makes sure that her kids have somewhere to clean and her husband has food on the table. But in terms of like paying for meals, I feel like as a man, it's like if you're trying to be this thing, innit, like you want to get me a thing, okay, put the fruits on the table, but don't put the fruits on the table and then afterwards it's like, oh no, I can't do that anymore, I was just showing you what you wanted me to see. So do you know what I mean?
I think that chivalry's dead. Like, I think it is flawed. Let's be serious. I do think it's flawed because I feel like, again, women haven't allowed men to do the chivalrous things that they want to do. And also, society has kind of dimmed the light on men being chivalrous because it's demasculizing when it's not. I think it takes away from, you know, the courting, and it would be nice for a guy to open a door for me or to pull my chair out, or, do you know what I mean? Just the same way as I can be chivalrous to a man in certain ways, you know? So I think chivalry is flawed and I think it should come back.
In this day and
called
age,
courting.
we have the independent women and we have the single ladies and we have the women who are like, nah,
I can do it for
you know, I can do it for
myself.
myself. And it makes it really, really hard for other women who actually are like, nah, like we're not all like that.
Like that, yeah.
Sometimes women need to learn how to be able to actually depend on a man
Yeah.
when it's needed.
Yes.
It doesn't make you a weak female, it just
Yeah.
means that you're able to balance in a good
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Preach, 100%.
And you're right, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, right? As I said to you, I will never let my wife walk on a roadside where the cars are like. If I'm gonna get hit, I'm gonna get hit. You know what I mean? I'll just damage the car. Yeah, but
All right.
Yes, he man. Yes, he man. Yeah.
Okay. What I'm trying to say, yeah, is that you know, if you're gonna start shouting at equal rights, yeah, then let everything be equal down the middle. Don't shout at equal rights and nothing equal in the mirror. When you need to put a flat screen TV up, and you're calling your man. When you need to put up a bed, you're calling your man.
But I think that we're using different words because you're saying equal rights, but I don't think women want equal rights. They want equity.
How would you define a difference?
So, like for example, if because I'm looking at a meme in my head and I'm trying to describe it, but if you're asking a fish and a giraffe and a zebra to take the same test, all of them won't be able to participate fairly. You're going to have to choose equity.
Yeah, we're not always going to be chosen.
Right, exactly. The fish won't be able to run like the cheetah.
But at least let it be fair.
Right, that, and I think that's what women want. Do you get what I mean?
So it's all about context, it's all about, and I guess it's a sense of how you feel about the situation for both men and women then, because then it's like, if men are not basically taking on the role of providing, and providing doesn't mean doing everything for a woman, providing means also making the person that you're providing for feel good about themselves. It could be a case of uplifting that person. If they're feeling all those roles, then there's a balance, because then it may be that one person's doing more physical work, but then the emotional outcome for everyone is positive. Right. Then so maybe it's more about that, as opposed to just talking about an act and saying you got paid for the thing, or you're getting more paid, or you should be. It's actually more about the emotional aspect of it, you know what I mean?
It's like, yeah, if you're the one, say for example, that's the breadwinner and you're making more money, that's fine. I don't have to compete with you in that arena. But then I would be sort of like the person who's facilitating the household. So I'm looking after the children, and you're going to support me there. So you're going to use your higher salary to then support and give that back into the household.
And make me feel good about what I'm doing at home.
Right. So then maybe, you know, I could do like a part-time job, or I could even stay at home and look after the kids. And yes, if the marriage does break up in the whatever, that you do share it equally, because it hasn't been it's just my money, and it hasn't been it's just my house. It's been both of us. That's why it's split in half. I think that if the woman cheated and she's a scumbag, then it's debatable. I think in the US, someone was saying in the debates that that's already started, laws have already started to change, and that's shifting. But I think in a normal situation where the marriage has ended amicably, both sides have played their role. The woman, through not being able to earn, has stopped her earning to look after the household and the kids, so she's cut the amount of years that she's been able to provide for herself and her kids, and the man has been able to go on for those years and still being able to work and gain money. So I do think that it should be half, because if she was fulfilling all of her role, which was taking care of the kids, taking care of the house and taking care of the man, it should be split down the middle, because she was doing her side of the role and he was doing his side of the role, which was going out and earning the money. So yeah, I do think it should be split 50-50, because she was upholding 50% of her agreement.
But then again, like I said, you can argue that could be looked at as a case-by-case situation as well, because if your man was a piece of shit, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to share half with him. Do you understand? Because if he was cheating...
But most women are piece of crap as well.
No. No. Because if I'm at home looking after your kids whilst you're beating next girls...
I sleep with my
next
best friend.
Girls, plural, I didn't say next girl, girls. You're not doing what you're supposed to do.
But there's a lot of cases.
Why
I understand what you're saying.
Why the hell do you deserve half?
No, but I understand what you're saying. But I understand exactly what you're saying. I do know.
We're no longer sharing anymore.
Ladies, yeah? I do understand what you're saying, yeah? But what I'm trying to say, there's a lot of cases, yeah, where women have cheated on their men, or women have done some nut thing on their man, or they called the police on their man, yeah? Right, the man's bought the house, they call the police kicked him out his house, she gets a house, she gets a car, she gets everything. And he has to go and sleep in a bed and breakfast while she moves her boyfriend in the house. So yeah, you're right in saying that there should be boundaries of how much you get if you do certain things.
Hold on. Let me say something towards that, yeah? Okay, I do want to hear about this equity thing.
Business.
What do you mean by equity?
I mean that not everyone's created equal, right? But I still think that things should be fair.
Okay.
So in terms of, okay, I give my example of the fish and the giraffe.
Yeah.
They both want to partake in the race, but you have to facilitate that one's in water and one's on land. Just because one's in water and the other one's in land doesn't mean that the one that's in water should be discriminated against or get less than. I feel like you should be able to find a system that can make both of them become equal. And if you can't find a system, you need to scrap the old system and make a new one.
Okay, cool. Well, this is my take on it, yeah. Right, 2019, yeah. I think, as you said, yeah, chivalry is dead, yeah. So
I didn't say chivalry is dead. I feel that
it's kind of dead.
we should
What is flawed?
resuscitate chivalry.
Chivalry is flawed, yeah. Because chivalry is flawed, yeah. I think, yeah, a man should pay for the first meal, then a woman should start paying for the second meal. It makes sense. A man, hold on. It makes sense for a woman to start paying for other meals. So she showed that, like 2019 woman, independent woman, it's not just an independent woman. You got to invest as well, invest into the relationship.
But I don't know what kind of girls you guys are really dating. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, because I think, okay, if you want to just answer the question, yes, a guy should pay on the first date if he initiates it. If she initiates it, it will make sense for you to pay as well, just to show that you're interested. But like you're saying, going on, like if you go on multiple dates, the girl should show interest as well. The guy can't just keep bringing out his credit card and paying. You yourself as a woman should show that you're interested and you're invested in this relationship or situation.
But I think that's just universal.
Hold on, do you pay?
Yeah.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah. I know you wanted to come from me, but I paid you. What's going on? I don't pay. If I don't pay, how much?
So what day do you pay on the first and second day?
Sometimes I've even gone half on the first day.
If I
Because it
initiate
depends
the
how it's
first
going.
date, I would pay on the first date.
You don't like it.
No, because we both want to see if we want to invest in it. So why don't we just go half? I know some guys are gonna be like, you're crazy, but it's working for me, innit?
Yeah, it's not that bad. It could be
it's not
worse.
that
You
bad.
have to pay my parents' dowry and come and do walk and do things.
And sometimes, and I have also paid half in one situation because I didn't want to think. I didn't want a guy to think that something more was gonna happen, so I just paid half. Because sometimes guys feel as well when they pay that
they're gonna get something.
they're gonna get something, whether it's sex or
Even
multiple
a kiss
dates.
or whatever.
I might not be interested.
Do you think we need to change our mindset in 2019, yeah? Especially the dating and everything. Because chivalry is flawed.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't necessarily think it's about, okay, it's 2019. It's just that narratives have come in and interrupted what's universal. So in the end of the day, it's just talk about it's about mutual respect. I mean, if you talk about a handshake or a hug or a mutual friendship, that hasn't evolved. Like from the early days, it's just what it is. It's just that narratives have come in and distracted people.
The conversation of equal rights and stuff like that, it's very broad. And I think no one debate can really solve the things, because I think each different scenario, if we're talking about pay, which is quite a practical thing, we're talking about paying for dates, if we're talking about women feeling more safe, if it's talking about men feeling like they can't speak their mind, some of these are emotional arguments, some of them are tangible physical arguments. So I don't think that one discussion can solve all those answers. I think you have to really take each section by a time. So, yeah.
Men look after your women, women look after your men. Same thing, what men can do, women can't do, what women can do, men can't do. Yeah, but you have to come to a balance, an equal balance. I'm not saying that women should put up TVs and stuff like that. I'm saying if you're gonna shout equal rights, then let everything be equal across the board. Do you know what I mean? I'm not shouting out equal rights. Do you mean? But if you're gonna shout out equal rights, let everything be equal across the board. Not just what you want and what you don't want. It don't make sense.
Women to allow men to be men. Stop taking away from their ability to be a man. A man has ego. Women don't really have it, although now we do kind of have it because of who we follow and all the rest of it teaches us how to have an ego. But I think women need to learn how to depend on men and allow men to be a man, and stop complaining that men ain't shit and men ain't doing nothing for you. If you ain't allowing them to do it, then they're gonna be shit in it.
I feel as women, there's a level of feminism instilled in all of us, some more than others. You know, we all see it on the TL when some women are fighting for female rights, and some are more passionate than others. It depends on what's being discussed. But like Alex pointed out, I feel like the conversation sometimes gets lost because instead of focusing on the problem, we start looking for different examples to show why men and women can't be equal, which is bollocks. Do you understand? So I feel like we should look at the problem case by case and then decide how we can solve it and make it fair across the board.
Men and women are yin and yang. We complement each other.
So I'm back. You've made it all the way to the end. Don't forget, again, subscribe, sharing is caring, ring that bell and like. And I'll see you for the next episode of Barber Banter.